Naomi Peterson's hands trembled as she smoothed down the emerald green dress she'd spent 2 hours choosing. The fabric felt expensive against her skin, borrowed from a cousin who believed tonight would be special. The restaurant stretched before her, all white tablecloths and crystal glasses, the kind of place she'd only seen in magazines. Her wheelchair rolled smoothly across the polished floor, guided by a server who smiled too widely. The kind of smile that didn't quite reach the eyes. No date should. "Arrive any moment," the server said, pulling out the chair across from her and disappearing before Naomi could respond. She touched the pearl necklace at her throat, another borrowed piece, and tried to calm her racing heart. Brooke and Allison from her old office had insisted she come tonight. They giggled and whispered about how perfect Trent Mallory was, how he specifically asked for someone special. Looking back now, Naomi should have questioned why they suddenly cared after barely speaking to her since the accident 3 years ago. The accident. She pushed the memory away, focusing instead on the menu in front of her. The prices made her stomach flip. This wasn't her world, but Brooke had been so insistent, almost pushy, saying Trent wanted to treat someone to a nice evening, someone who deserved happiness. The front door opened. A tall man in a gray suit walked in, scanning the restaurant. His eyes landed on her table, on her on the wheelchair, positioned carefully beside the white tablecloth. Naomi saw it happen in slow motion. His face changed. The polite smile he'd worn dropped like a mask. His eyes went cold, traveling from her face down to the wheels of her chair and back up again. Ah! Disgust, that's what twisted his features. Trent Mallory walked directly to her table, didn't sit down, and leaned forward close enough that she could smell his cologne. Expensive and overwhelming. "You've got to be kidding me," he said, his voice low but sharp enough to cut. "This is what they set me up with. A girl in a wheelchair." Naomi's throat closed. The restaurant noise faded to a dull roar in her ears. This wasn't real. This couldn't be happening. Brooke said, "You were pretty, but she left out the most important detail, didn't she?" Trent continued, straightening up. "I don't do charity cases. I thought this was a real date." Heat flooded Naomi's cheeks. Around them, other diners were starting to notice. A woman at the next table whispered to her companion. Trent turned to leave, shaking his head. "This is pathetic," he muttered loud enough for her to hear. Naomi wanted to disappear. She wanted the floor to open up and swallow her whole. Her hands gripped the wheels of her chair, ready to turn around and leave. To get out before the tears threatening behind her eyes could fall. 3 years of rebuilding herself. 3 years of learning to be strong, and it took less than 3 minutes for a stranger to make her feel worthless. She started to turn her chair when a voice cut through the chaos in her mind. "Excuse me." The voice was deep, calm, carrying authority. Naomi looked up. A man stood beside her table, elderly with white hair neatly combed and a gentle demeanor. He wore a crisp black suit that fit him impeccably, and his eyes were kind as they looked at her, not at her wheelchair. Behind him stood a little girl, maybe 7 or 8, with the same white streaked hair pulled into pigtails, wearing a bright red dress. "I'm sorry I'm late," the man said, directing his words to Naomi, but his gaze fixed on Trent with ice-cold intensity. The meeting ran longer than expected. Trent frowned, confused. "What are you talking about?" The man stepped closer to Naomi's table, placing his hand gently on the back of her chair. The gesture was protective, territorial even. "She's with me," he said simply, his voice carrying across the immediate area. "You can leave now? Have you ever witnessed a moment that restored your faith in humanity? When was the last time you saw someone stand up for a stranger?" Drop a comment below with your thoughts on this story, and don't forget to subscribe to see how Naomi's journey unfolds. Will this mysterious stranger's kindness change everything? The silence that followed felt thick enough to touch. Trent's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. He looked between Naomi and the stranger, clearly trying to figure out what was happening. The little girl moved closer to her father, her hand tucked into his. "Brooke said," Trent started. "I don't care what Brooke said," the man interrupted, his tone polite but firm. "You're making a scene and upsetting my date. Please leave." Trent's face turned red. He glanced around the restaurant, seeing the eyes watching him, judgment clear on several faces. Without another word, he turned and walked out, the door swinging shut behind him with a decisive sound. Naomi sat frozen, unable to process what just happened. The stranger moved around to the chair Trent had refused to sit in and lowered himself into it gracefully. The little girl climbed into a third chair a server quickly brought over. "I'm sorry for inserting myself like that," he said, and his voice had lost its edge, becoming warm. "I'm Old Man Albert. This is my daughter Lily. We were having dinner over there." He gestured to a table by the window, and I could unjust sit by and watch that happen. Naomi found her voice, though it shook slightly. "I'm Naomi Peterson. You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did," Old Man Albert said simply. "That man was cruel. You deserve better than that." Lily leaned forward, her young face serious. "That man was mean to you. Daddy says we should always help people when someone's being mean. Are you okay?" The innocent concern in the child's voice broke something loose in Naomi's chest. Tears prick-wrecked her eyes, but she blinked them back, managing a small smile. "I'm okay now. Thank you both," Old Man Albert signaled the server. "We've already ordered our food, but it can wait. Would you like to have dinner with us? A real dinner without any expectations or pressure? Just 3 people sharing a meal." Naomi hesitated. Every instinct screamed that this was strange, that she should leave, go home, and never trust anyone again. But something in Old Man Albert's eyes stopped her. Genuine kindness. No pity, just human decency. "I'd like that," she heard herself say. Lily clapped her hands together softly. "Hey, I'm having chicken fingers. What are you having?" "For thee." Next hour, Naomi found herself relaxing in a way she hadn't expected. Old Man Albert was easy to talk to, asking questions about her work as a graphic designer. Her favorite movies, the book she was currently reading. He didn't ask about the wheelchair, didn't mention her disability at all. He treated her like a person, not a tragedy. Lily chatted about her second-grade class. Her best friend Mia. Wait, I need to avoid that name. Let me change it. Lily chatted about her second-grade class, her best friend Rachel, and her pet goldfish named Bubbles. She asked Naomi if she'd like drawing. And when Naomi said yes, Lily insisted on showing her the picture she'd drawn at school that day, which Old Man Albert happened to have in his briefcase. "I have to carry her artwork everywhere," Old Man Albert explained with a fond smile. "My quarters are covered in her masterpieces." "That's really sweet," Naomi said, studying the crayon drawing of a rainbow in a house. "Daddy says my art is better than the stuff in museums," Lily declared proudly. "I said it was museum-worthy." Old Man Albert corrected gently. "There's a difference." Naomi laughed, a real laugh that felt good in her chest. When was the last time she'd laughed like that? The food arrived, delivered to their table by a different server than the one who seated Naomi originally. Old Man Albert had ordered salmon, Lily had her chicken fingers, and Naomi's pasta dish looked perfect. As they ate, Old Man Albert shared bits of his own story. He was a kind old butler at a grand estate, something to do with managing the household affairs that Naomi didn't fully understand, but nodded along to. He'd been widowed for 3 years, raising Lily on his own with help from his parents. "It's not easy," he admitted, cutting Lily's chicken into smaller pieces without being asked. "But she's worth every challenge." "I bet I am," Lily said through a mouthful of food. "Lily, manners," Old Man Albert reminded her gently. The girl swallowed and grinned at Naomi. "Sorry, daddies, always reminding me about manners. Do you have kids, Lily?" Old Man Albert said, a note of warning in his voice. "It's okay," Naomi assured him. "I don't have children, but I have a nephew who's about your age. His name is Connor and he loves dinosaurs." "Dinosaurs are cool," Lily agreed. "I like unicorns better, though." As dinner wound down, Old Man Albert paid the bill over Naomi's protests. "This was my invitation," he said firmly but kindly. "Let me do this." Outside the restaurant, Old Man Albert's driver waited with a sleek black car. "Can we give you a ride home?" Old Man Albert offered. Naomi shook her head. "I have accessible transport coming, but thank you for everything." "This was you saved me tonight." Old Man Albert's expression grew serious. He pulled a calling card from his wallet and handed it to her. "I meant what I said in there. That man was cruel, but more than that, he was stupid. You're lovely, Naomi. Smart, funny, beautiful. I'd like to see you again if you're open to it. A real date this time, not a rescue mission." Naomi looked at the card in her hand, then up at Old Man Albert's face. Lily had moved to the car but was watching them with interest. This was crazy. This didn't happen in real life. Kind old butlers didn't rescue women in wheelchairs and ask them out. But as she looked into Old Man Albert's eyes, she saw something that made her heart skip. Sincerity. Oh, a reflection of the loneliness she herself carried. "I'd like that," she said softly. Old Man Albert's smile was brilliant. "Good. I'll call you tomorrow if that's all right." "It's all right." As Naomi's accessible van pulled up and she transferred into it, she watched Old Man Albert's car drive away. Lily waved from the back window and Naomi waved back. Her phone buzzed with a text from Brooke. It'd go with Trent. Naomi blocked the number without responding. Then she looked at Old Man Albert's calling card again, running her thumb over the embossed letters. Maybe, just maybe, something good had come from tonight after all. Naomi woke up the next morning, convinced she'd dreamed the entire evening. But Old Man Albert's calling card sat on her nightstand, solid proof that it had been real. She picked it up, studying the elegant font. Old Man Albert, kind old butler at Evergreen Manor. A phone number, an email address. Her phone rang at exactly 9 o'clock a.m., making her jump. A known number. "Hello, Naomi. It's Old Man Albert." Old Man Albert from last night. Her heart did a strange flutter. I remember you." "Good." She could hear the smile in his voice. "I hope I'm not calling too early." Lily insisted I wait until at least 9 o'clock because anything earlier would be rude. Naomi laughed. 9 is perfect. She there? Was eating breakfast and pretending not to listen to my every word. "I wanted to ask if you'd be free tomorrow evening. I'd love to take you to the art gallery downtown. They have a new exhibition opening, and I noticed last night that you mentioned loving impressionist paintings." Naomi's breath caught. He'd remembered that small detail from their conversation. "I'd love that. But Old Man Albert, I need to ask, why are you doing this? You don't know me." There was a pause when Old Man Albert spoke again. His voice was thoughtful. "That's exactly why. I'd like to know you. Sometimes you meet someone, and you just know they're worth knowing better. That's how I felt last night. And before you ask, yes, I'm very aware that you're in a wheelchair. No, it doesn't matter to me in the way you're probably thinking it does. What matters is that I saw a brave woman who got dressed up and put herself out there, despite whatever happened to put her in that chair. I saw someone with kind eyes and a quick laugh. That's who I want to know better." Naomi felt tears prick her eyes, but they were good tears this time. "Okay, yes. Tomorrow evening sounds wonderful." They talked for another 20 minutes, working out details. Old Man Albert would pick her up at 6 o'clock. He'd already checked that the gallery was fully accessible. He'd even called ahead to ensure there would be no issues with his vehicle being close to the entrance. "You didn't have to do all that," Naomi said. "I wanted to. Planning a good date means considering your partner's needs. It's basic courtesy." After they hung up, Naomi sat in her bed for a long moment, just holding her phone. Her best friend Clara called an hour later and Naomi told her everything. "Girl, are you serious right now?" Clara practically shrieked. "Old Man Albert? The Old Man Albert? I've seen him mentioned in society pages. He's distinguished and apparently really generous with charities, and he asked you out?" "He did," Naomi confirmed, still not quite believing it herself. "What are you going to wear?" That launched them into an hour-long discussion about outfits and accessories. Clara insisted on coming over that afternoon to help Naomi prepare. By the time she left, Naomi had a royal blue dress laid out, silver jewelry selected, and a plan for her hair. The next evening, Old Man Albert arrived exactly at 6 o'clock. Naomi watched from her window as he got out of a luxury SUV, modified with a ramp that extended smoothly from the side. He'd rented an accessible vehicle specifically for tonight. "You rented this?" Naomi asked as Old Man Albert helped her settle into the front seat, her wheelchair folded and stored in the back. "I did. My regular car wouldn't work well for you." This seemed like the better option. The gallery was everything Naomi had hoped. Old Man Albert had been right about it being fully accessible, and the new exhibition was stunning. They moved through the room slowly, stopping to examine paintings that caught their eye. Old Man Albert didn't hover or push her wheelchair without asking. He let her navigate on her own, matching his pace to hers naturally. "This one," Naomi said, stopping in front of a Monet. "This is my favorite, old man." Albert stood beside her, studying the water lilies. "Tell me why." "Look at how the light moves across the water. It's not static. You can almost see the ripples, feel the breeze." It captured a moment that's both peaceful and alive at the same time. That's hard to do. See art differently than I do? Old man Albert observed. I look at it and think it's pretty. You look at it and see the soul of it. They had dinner at a nearby bistro afterward, sitting outside on the patio where Naomi's wheelchair fit easily at the table. The evening air was cool but comfortable, and light strung overhead gave everything a gentle glow. Can I ask about your accident? Old man Albert said carefully. You don't have to answer if you'd rather not. Naomi took a sip of her wine, gathering her thoughts. Car accident. 3 years ago. A drunk driver ran a red light and hit my car on the driver's side. Spinal injury. I spent 6 months in hospitals and rehab, learning how to live again. That must have been incredibly difficult. It was. But in some ways, it showed me who really cared about me. A lot of people disappeared. My boyfriend at the time left 2 months after the accident, said he couldn't handle it. My friends from work like Brooke and Allison, they came to visit once or twice, and then just stopped. Old man Albert's jaw tightened. Those women set you up the other night, didn't they? It was intentional, Naomi nodded. I figured that out after you left. Trent's reaction was too extreme to be just disappointment. They probably told him I was able-bodied and thought it would be funny to see what happened. A joke at my expense? That's cruel. People can be cruel, but they can also be kind. She met his eyes across the table like you were. Old man Albert reached across the table, and after a moment's hesitation, Naomi placed her hand in his. His palm was warm, his grip firm but gentle. I'm glad I was there, he said simply. They talked until the restaurant started closing, learning more about each other. Old man Albert told her about serving as a butler for decades at the Grand Estate, about the struggles of single parenthood, about Lily's mother, who died from cancer when Lily was 4. She doesn't remember her much, old man Albert admitted, sadness clouding his eyes. I keep photo albums, tell her stories, but it's not the same as having her here. You're doing your best, Naomi said. That's all any parent can do. That's what my mother says. She and my father help out a lot, but I want Lily to know I'm here for her always. On the drive back to Naomi's apartment, old man Albert turned the music down low. I'd like to see you again, and I'd like you to meet Lily properly. Spend time with her. She talked about you all through breakfast this morning. She did. She asked if you were my new girlfriend. Old man Albert glanced at her with a slightly embarrassed smile. I told her it was too soon for that label, but that I liked you very much and hoped we could be friends. What did she say? She said you seemed nice and that she liked your earrings. Naomi touched the silver hoops in her ears. These were my grandmother's. Lily has good taste. Then outside Naomi's building, old man Albert helped her back into her wheelchair. The night air had turned cool, and Naomi shivered slightly. Old man Albert immediately shrugged out of his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. I can't take your jacket, she protested. You can give it back next time I see you, which I hope is soon. Standing there in the parking lot with old man Albert's jacket warm around her shoulders and his kind eyes looking down at her, Naomi felt something she hadn't felt in 3 years. Oh, real, genuine hope that her life might be more than just surviving. How about Saturday? She suggested. If you and Lily are free, old man Albert's answering smile was radiant. We're free. I'll text you in the morning and we'll make plans. As Naomi got ready for bed that night, old man Albert's jacket hanging on her chair, she allowed herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, good things could still happen. Saturday morning dawned bright and clear. Naomi woke up to a text from old man Albert that had been sent at 7:30. Good morning. Lily wants to know if you like parks. She's convinced we should have a picnic. Thoughts? Naomi smiled at her phone and typed back, I love parks, and picnics sound perfect. 3 dots appeared immediately then. Great. We'll pick you up at 11 o'clock. Lily is already packing snacks. Fair warning, she's very enthusiastic about this. The next few hours passed in a blur of preparation. Naomi chose a bright maroon sundress that was comfortable and easy to move in. She pulled her hair back in a loose ponytail and kept her makeup simple. Clara called twice to check on her and offer advice. Just be yourself, Clara said. He clearly likes you already, and kids are good judges of character. If Lily likes you, that's a big deal.
Ow, no pressure then.
Naomi joked, though her stomach fluttered with nerves. At exactly 11 o'clock, old man Albert's vehicle pulled up outside. This time, Lily jumped out first, wearing a yellow dress covered in white flowers. She waved enthusiastically at Naomi's window. "She's been excited since 6 o'clock this morning," Old Man Albert said as he helped Naomi into the car. "I've heard about 20 different ideas for what we should do today." "I like her energy," Naomi said. The park Old Man Albert chose was beautiful and completely accessible. Wide paved paths wound through green spaces, and there were tables with extended space at the ends for wheelchairs. Old Man Albert had clearly scouted the location beforehand. "This is wonderful," Naomi said, as they found a spot under a large oak tree. Lily helped Old Man Albert spread out a blanket while Naomi transferred from her wheelchair to the ground, something she'd become expert at over the years. Lily sat down next to her, immediately pulling out a container of strawberries. "I picked these out special," Lily announced. "Daddy said strawberries are good for picnics." "They're perfect," Naomi assured her, accepting one. "Thank you for thinking of me." For the next hour, they ate sandwiches and fruit, talked about everything and nothing, and watched other families play around them. Lily asked questions with the innocent directness of children. "Does it hurt to be in your wheelchair?" she wanted to know. Lily Old Man Albert warned gently. "It's okay," Naomi said. "No, it doesn't hurt to be in my wheelchair. The wheelchair helps me get around. It's like my legs." "Oh, that makes sense." Lily thought about this. "Can I ask another question?" "Sure. Will you always need it?" Naomi glanced at Old Man Albert, who looked ready to intervene, but she shook her head slightly. "Probably. The doctors say that my injury is permanent, which means it won't get better. But that's okay. I've learned to live a good life with my wheelchair." "You're pretty," Lily said suddenly. "And nice. I'm glad Daddy met you." The simple honesty of the statement made Naomi's throat tight. "I'm glad he met me too, and I'm very glad to meet you." After lunch, they walked along the paved paths, Lily running ahead to look at flowers and then running back to report her findings. Old Man Albert pushed Naomi's wheelchair without being asked, and she let him, enjoying the ease of it. "She really likes you," Old Man Albert said quietly. "I can tell the feeling's mutual. She's a great kid. You're doing an amazing job with her." "It doesn't always feel that way. There are hard days. Days when she asks why she doesn't have a mom like other kids. Days when I don't know if I'm making the right choices. That's part of being a parent though, isn't it? Doing your best and hoping it's enough." Old Man Albert looked down at her with something warm in his eyes. "You get it? Most people just tell me to hire more help or send her to boarding school. That's awful advice. She needs you, not hired help." They stopped at a small pond where ducks swam lazily. Lily asked if they could feed them, and Old Man Albert pulled out a bag of special duck food he'd brought. Of course, he'd thought of that too. As Lily scattered food for the ducks, Old Man Albert sat on a bench next to where Naomi had positioned her wheelchair. They watched Lily in comfortable silence for a moment. "Can I be honest with you about something?" Old Man Albert asked. "Please. I haven't dated anyone since my wife died. Lily is my whole world, and I couldn't imagine bringing someone into our lives who wouldn't care about her as much as I do. But you, Naomi, you're different. The way you talk to her, the way you treat her like a person and not just some cute accessory to get closer to me, it means everything." Naomi's heart pounded. "Old Man Albert, I care about both of you. I'm not trying to replace anyone or force my way into your family, but I like being here. I like being with you both." Old Man Albert reached over and took her hand. His thumb brushed across her knuckles. "Good, because I'd like you to keep being here." "I'd like that too." Lily ran back to them, breathless and happy. The ducks ate all the food. "Can we come back next week and feed them again?" "We can do that," Old Man Albert promised. "Would you like Naomi to come with us?" Lily's face lit up. "Yes, Naomi, will you come?" "I'd be honored," Naomi said. As the afternoon stretched into early evening, they eventually made their way back to the car. Lily was tired, leaning against Naomi's chair as they walked. Old Man Albert had his hand on the small of Naomi's back, a gesture that felt protective and tender at the same time. "Thank you for today," Naomi said as Old Man Albert helped her back into the vehicle. "Thank you for spending it with us, Lily." "What do we say?" Thank you for coming to the park with us, Naomi, Lily recited dutifully, then added, Can you come to my school play next month? Lily, that might be too soon, Old Man Albert started. I'd love to, Naomi interrupted. If your dad thinks it's okay, Old Man Albert met her eyes, and something passed between them. Understanding, connection, the beginning off, something real. It's more than okay, he said softly. That evening, after Old Man Albert dropped her off with promises to text later, Naomi sat in her living room with a cup of tea and let herself feel happy. Really, truly happy. Not the forced happiness she'd learned to project after the accident, but genuine joy. Her phone buzzed. Old Man Albert. Lily says to tell you that you're now officially her friend, and friends have to visit at least once a week. I'm not sure where she got that rule, but you support it? Naomi laughed and typed back. Tell Lily I agree with that rule completely. Old Man Albert, she's already planning next weekend. Fair warning, Naomi, I can't wait, and she meant it. For the first time in years, she was looking forward to tomorrow and the day after that, and all the days that might come. The following week passed in a pleasant blur of text messages and phone calls. Old Man Albert checked in every morning with a simple good morning and every evening with updates about Lily's day. Naomi found herself looking forward to those messages, smiling at her phone in a way that made Clara tease her mercilessly. You're falling for him, Clara said during their Wednesday coffee date at Naomi's apartment. Is that so bad? Naomi asked, stirring cream into her mug. Not at all. Just be careful. I don't want to see you hurt. I'm always careful. But was she? When Old Man Albert called on Thursday evening asking if she'd like to have a proper date, two of them on Friday night, Naomi said yes without hesitation. No careful consideration, no weighing of pros and cons. Just yes. My parents are going to watch Lily, Old Man Albert explained. I thought we could go to that Italian restaurant you mentioned. Loving the one downtown with the rooftop garden? Rossetti's Old Man Albert, that place is impossible to get into. Not if you know the owner. She could hear the smile in his voice. I'll pick you up at 7 o'clock. Friday evening, Naomi spent extra time getting ready. She chose a deep blue dress that brought out her eyes, and she wore the pearl necklace that had been her mother's. Her hands shook slightly as she put on lipstick. Old Man Albert arrived early at 6:45, wearing a charcoal suit with a light blue tie that matched her dress almost perfectly. When she opened the door, his expression made her feel beautiful in a way she hadn't felt in years. You look stunning, he said simply. You're not so bad yourself. The drive to the restaurant was easy, filled with conversation about their weeks. Old Man Albert told her about a challenging household matter he was managing at the estate. And Naomi shared about the graphic design project she just completed for a small nonprofit. They can't pay much, she admitted, but they're doing good work helping homeless families, so I didn't mind. That's kind of you. It's what I can give. Not everyone can write big checks, but everyone can give something. Old Man Albert glanced at her with an expression she couldn't quite read. You have a good heart, Naomi. Rossetti was everything Naomi had heard. The rooftop garden was magical, strung with white lights and surrounded by flowering plants. Their table was positioned perfectly, giving them privacy while still letting them see the city skyline. This is incredible, Naomi breathed, looking around. I'm glad you like it. The owner, Matteo, is a friend from my serving days. He made sure we had the best table. Throughout dinner, they talked like old friends who'd known each other for years, rather than just over a week. Old Man Albert told her about growing up in Connecticut, the youngest of 3 boys, and how his dedicated nature had driven him to succeed as a butler in high society. My brothers are both doctors, he explained. Brilliant men. My parents expected me to follow that path too. But I've always loved service, building something from nothing, creating households that work. It made sense to me in a way medicine never did. Do your parents accept that now? They do. It took time and proving myself, but they're proud of what I've built. Though my mother still introduces me as her son, who works with estates at parties. Naomi laughed. My mom does the same thing. She tells people I do art on the computer and can never remember the term graphic designer. Tell me about your family, Old Man Albert encouraged. Naomi talked about growing up in Georgia, the oldest of 3 daughters. Her father was a mechanic, her mother a teacher. They'd moved to the city when Naomi got her first real job, hoping for better opportunities. They were terrified after the accident, Naomi admitted. They wanted me to move back home. Let them take care of me. But I needed to prove I could still live independently. It was hard and there were days I almost gave in, but I'm glad I stayed. That took real courage or stubbornness. My family would probably say stubbornness. As dinner plates were cleared away, Old Man Albert reached across the table and took her hand. The gesture was becoming familiar, comfortable. I want to be honest with you about something, he said. I looked you up online. After our first conversation, I wanted to make sure I wasn't making a mistake bringing someone into Lily's life. I hope you don't mind. Naomi's stomach dropped slightly. What did you find? A brilliant graphic designer with a strong portfolio. Volunteer work with 3 different charities. A woman who took a tragedy and turned it into strength. I also found the news articles about your accident and the legal case afterward. The driver got 10 years, Naomi said quietly. He'd had 2 previous DUIs. He took so much from me that day, but at least there was justice. I'm sorry you went through that. But I'm also grateful that you survived, because if you hadn't, I wouldn't have met you. The sincerity in his voice made Naomi's eyes sting. That's possibly the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. It's the truth. Naomi, I need you to understand something. I'm not looking for a casual relationship. I have Lily to think about. If we're doing this, I need to know you're in it for real. Naomi's heart raced. Are you asking me to be your girlfriend? I'm asking if you'd like to see where this goes. Exclusive. Serious. I want to introduce you to my parents properly. Include you in our lives, but only if that's what you want to. A week ago, Naomi would have panicked at such a direct conversation. She would have found reasons to pull back to protect herself. But sitting across from Old Man Albert, seeing thievel vulnerability in his eyes, she knew what she wanted. I want that too, she said firmly. I want to see where this goes with you and with Lily. I care about both of you already. Old Man Albert's smile was brilliant. He stood up, came around to her side of the table, and leaned down to kiss her forehead. The gesture was sweet and respectful, and it made Naomi's entire body warm. Thank you, he said softly. Dessert arrived, a shared toisu that they ate slowly, talking about future plans. Old Man Albert wanted to take her to a society event next month if she was interested. Lily had already asked when Naomi could come for dinner at their home. There was talk of a weekend trip to the coast in a few months. I'm getting ahead of myself, Old Man Albert admitted, setting down his fork. I tend to do that. Jump in completely when I care about something. Tell me if it's too much. It's not too much. It's perfect. As they left their restaurant, Old Man Albert kept his hand on the small of her back. The night air was cool, and Naomi shivered slightly. Old Man Albert immediately moved to take off his jacket. Keep it, she said. I'm fine. You're cold. Then stand closer and keep me warm. Old Man Albert laughed, a real happy sound, and moved his wheelchair closer to him as they waited for the valet. When the car arrived, he helped her in with practiced ease, and Naomi realized how natural this was becoming. He didn't treat her wheelchair like an obstacle or an afterthought. He just incorporated it into their normal routine. Outside her building, Old Man Albert walked her to her door. Can I see you this weekend? Lily wants to show you her room and her goldfish. Apparently Bubbles needs to meet you. I'd be honored to meet Bubbles. Old Man Albert cubed her face gently in his hands. I'm going to kiss you now. Is that okay? Naomi's breath caught. Yes. The kiss was soft and sweet, his lips gentle against hers. It lasted just long enough to make her want more, but not so long that it felt rushed. When he pulled back, his eyes were warm. Good night, Naomi. Good night, Old Man Albert. Inside her apartment, Naomi touched her lips and smiled. This was real. This was happening. And for the first time since the accident, she let herself believe that she deserved it. Saturday arrived with sunshine and Lily's boundless enthusiasm. Old Man Albert had called that morning, explaining that Lily woke up at 6 o'clock, asking when Naomi would arrive. I told her 11 o'clock, but she's been dressed and ready since 7:30, Old Man Albert said, sounding amused and slightly exasperated. She's reorganized her room 3 times. Tell her I'm excited too, Naomi said. And it was true. Old Man Albert's home was beautiful, but lived in with Lily's artwork on the walls and photos everywhere showing the progression of her young life. It was a real home, not a showpiece. Old Man Albert met her at the door, helping her navigate the small step with a portable ramp he'd already installed. I meant to do this before, Hal apologized. Should have had it ready last week. You're taking care of it now. That's what matters. Lily appeared like a whirlwind in a bright green dress, practically bouncing with excitement. You're here. Come see my room. Bubbles is waiting. The tour of Lily's room took nearly an hour. Every toy had a story. Every drawing on the wall needed explanation. Bubbles, the goldfish, swam in his bowl on Lily's dresser, and Lily insisted on showing Naomi how to feed him. Just a tiny pinch, Lily instructed seriously. Too much makes his tummy hurt. You take good care of him, Naomi observed. Daddy says pets are a big responsibility. You have to love them and take care of them every day. Your daddy is right. Old Man Albert appeared in the doorway, leaning against the frame with his arms crossed and a soft smile on his face. Lily, why don't you let Naomi breathe for a minute? How about we make lunch together? In the kitchen, Lily helped mix a salad while Old Man Albert grilled chicken on the patio. Naomi sat at the kitchen island, chopping vegetables that Lily handed her one at a time. It felt domestic and comfortable, like she'd been part of this routine forever. Can I ask you something? Lily said, her voice suddenly quieter. Of course, sweetheart. Are you going to be Daddy's girlfriend for real? Naomi glanced toward the patio where Old Man Albert was busy with the grill, then back at Lily's earnest face. Would that be okay with you if I was? Lily considered this carefully. I think so. Daddy's been sad for a long time since Mommy died. He doesn't talk about it, but I can tell. But when he talks about you, he smiles different. A happy smile. The simple observation from this 7-year-old made Naomi's chest tight. I care about your daddy very much, and I care about you too. Even though I ask lots of questions, especially because you ask lots of questions. It means you're smart and curious. Lily beamed at that. Rachel at school says, I'm annoying sometimes. Rachel is wrong. You're wonderful. Old Man Albert came back inside with the grilled chicken, and the conversation shifted to lighter topics. Over lunch, they talked about Lily's school play coming up next month. She was playing a flower in the spring program. A very important flower, Old Man Albert added solemnly. The program doesn't work without flowers. Daddy has to help me practice my lines, Lily explained. Want to hear them? I'd love you to. Lily stood up and struck a dramatic pose. I am a flower, bright and new, growing tall with morning dew. She bowed and Old Man Albert and Naomi clapped. After lunch, Old Man Albert suggested they watch a movie. They settled in the living room. Lily curled between them on the couch while Naomi positioned her wheelchair nearby. Halfway through the animated film, Lily fell asleep, her head on Old Man Albert's lap. She didn't nap this morning, Old Man Albert said quietly. Too excited. She's precious. Naomi whispered. She is, and she's right about what she said earlier. Naomi's cheeks warmed. You heard that? The patio door was open. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. Old Man Albert gently stroked Lily's hair. She's right, though. I have been sad. For 3 years, I've been going through the motions. Being a dad, managing my duties at the estate, existing, but not really living. Old Man Albert, let me finish. You've changed something. Naomi, in just these few weeks, I feel like myself again. Like there's more to look forward, Tothan, just getting through each day. Lily sees it because kids notice everything. Naomi reached over and took his free hand. I feel the same way. For 3 years, I've been proving I can survive on my own, but I forgot that surviving isn't the same as living. You and Lily, you've reminded me what it feels like to actually live again. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the movie play out on screen, while Lily slept peacefully. When the credits rolled, Old Man Albert carefully moved Lily to carry her to her room for a proper nap. Stay, he said to Naomi. Please don't leave yet. So, she stayed. When Old Man Albert came back down, they moved to the back patio where a swing seat hung from the pergola. Old Man Albert helped Naomi transfer from her wheelchair to the swing, then sat beside her. They rocked gently, his arm around her shoulders. "Tell me something you've always wanted to do but haven't yet," Old Man Albert said. Naomi thought about it. Travel. Before the accident, I was saving up to go to Italy, see all the famous art in person, walk through the museums, eat real Italian food. But after it seemed impossible. The logistics of traveling with a wheelchair, the expense, the fear of being dependent on strangers in a foreign country. What if you didn't have to worry about the logistics or expense? Old Man Albert asked carefully. "What do you mean?" "I mean, what if I told you that I have duties in Rome next spring and that I was thinking of bringing Lillian, making it a 2-week trip instead of just a 3-day duty trip, and that I'd very much like you to come with us if you're interested?" Naomi's breath caught. "Old Man Albert, I couldn't. That's too much." "Why?" Because that's an expensive trip, and I can't ask you to." "You're not asking. I'm offering." "Naomi, I want to share experiences with you. I want to show you the world. And yes, I have the means to do it comfortably. Let me do this, please." Naomi's first instinct was to refuse to insist on her independence. But she remembered Old Man Albert's words from their first real conversation. Sometimes you have to let people help you. And she realized that accepting wasn't weakness. It was trust. "Okay," she said quietly. "I'd love to go to Rome with you and Lily." Old Man Albert kissed the top of her head. "Thank you for saying yes, for being here, for giving us a chance." "Thank you for seeing me," Naomi replied. "Not my wheelchair, not my limitations, just me. All I see when I look at you is someone strong, beautiful, and kind. Someone I'm incredibly grateful to have met." They stayed on the patio until Lily woke up, watching clouds drift across the blue sky and making plans for the future. And for the first time in 3 years, Naomi let herself believe that the future might be even better than the past. 3 months into their relationship, Naomi's life had transformed in ways she'd never imagined. She spent at least 3 evenings a week with Old Man Albert and Lily, had met Old Man Albert's parents, who were lovely and welcoming, and had even started keeping a change of clothes at Old Man Albert's home for impromptu sleepovers after movie nights. Lily's school play had been adorable. And Naomi sat in the front row with Old Man Albert's parents, taking photos and videos. Afterward, Lily had run to all of them, still wearing her flower costume, asking if they'd seen her remember all her lines. Life felt full in the best possible way. Which is why Naomi wasn't prepared for the text message that appeared on her phone on a Tuesday afternoon while she was working on a logo design for a new client. "Brooke, hey girl, long time no talk. Want to grab coffee?" Naomi stared at the message for a long moment. She hadn't heard from Brooke or Allison since that horrible night at the restaurant. She'd blocked their numbers after Trent. But apparently Brooke had gotten a new phone or was texting from a different device. Before she could decide how to respond, another message appeared. "Allison saw your pics on social media with Old Man Albert? Unji, you've been holding out on us." There it was. The real reason for the sudden interest? They'd seen the photos Old Man Albert had posted on his public social media of their family day at the zoo last weekend. His caption had been simple. "Great day with my 2 favorite people." The comments had blown up because Old Man Albert had many followers due to his long service in society. A third message from Brooke. "We should all get together. Catch up. Maybe you could introduce us to Old Man Albert." Naomi felt her jaw clench. The audacity was stunning. These were the women who had set her up as a cruel joke, who had humiliated her, who had disappeared from her life, and now they wanted back in because she was dating someone distinguished. Her phone rang. Old Man Albert. "Hey," she answered. "Hey yourself. How's the logo coming?" "It's good. Almost done." "Old Man Albert, can I ask you something?" "Always." "Do you ever have people from your past suddenly resurface when they find out about your success?" There was a pause all the time. "Why?" Naomi explained about the messages about Brooke and Allison. Old Man Albert listened without interrupting, which was one of the things she loved about him. He always listened completely before responding. "What do you want to do?" he asked when she finished. "I want to tell them to leave me alone. A part of me wonders if I should give them a chance. People can change, right? But Naomi, these women set you up for humiliation. They used you for entertainment. That's not a small thing to forgive. I know, but what if I'm being too harsh? You're not, and I'll support whatever you decide. But ask yourself this. If I wasn't in the picture, if you were still living the same life as before we met, would they be reaching out?" The answer was obvious. Oh, they wouldn't have given her a second thought. "You're right," she said quietly. "I'm not trying to tell you what to do, just giving you perspective." "I appreciate it." That evening, Naomi was at Old Man Albert's home for dinner. Lily was at a friend's house for a sleepover, which meant it was just the two of them. They cooked together, moving around the kitchen in a comfortable dance they developed over weeks of practice. Naomi's phone buzzed repeatedly on the counter. More messages from Brooke and Allison. Their persistent Old Man Albert observed, stirring pasta sauce. They want something. They always want something. Her phone rang. Brooke echoing, Naomi stared at it, then made a decision. She answered on speaker, so Old Man Albert could hear. "Hello, Naomi. Finally, I was starting to think you were ignoring us." Brooke's voice was sugary, sweet, fake. "What do you want, Brooke? That's kind of harsh. Can't old friends just want to reconnect? We were never friends. Real friends don't set people up for humiliation." Silence on the other end. "Then that was just a joke. We thought you'd think it was funny. You thought I'd think it was funny to be publicly humiliated by a stranger who was disgusted by my disability. It wasn't like that. Trent was supposed to be nice about it." "So, you did set me up intentionally." More silence. "Look, maybe we made a mistake, but that's in the past. We saw you're dating Old Man Albert. That's amazing. We'd love to meet him. Maybe we could all hang out, go to some of those fancy events he probably attends." And there it was, the real agenda. Naomi looked at Old Man Albert, who had stopped stirring the sauce and was watching her with supportive eyes. He nodded slightly, encouraging her. "No," Naomi said firmly. "What?" "No, we won't be hanging out. We won't be reconnecting. You treated me terribly, and now you want access to my boyfriend's connections and status." The answer is no. That's not fair. Allison's voice cut in. She must have been on the call, too. "We made one mistake. You made a choice. A cruel one. And now I'm making a choice. I don't want people in my life who only value me for what I can give them. I deserve better than that. You think you're too good for us now because you're dating some distinguished guy?" Brooke snapped, her sweet tone disappearing. "I think I'm good enough for myself, which is something I should have realized 3 years ago. Don't contact me again." Naomi hung up and immediately blocked both numbers, her hands shaking slightly. Old Man Albert set down the spoon and came to her, kneeling beside her wheelchair and taking her hands. "I'm proud of you," he said simply. "I feel guilty." "Don't. You stood up for yourself. That's not something to feel guilty about. What if I was to mean, Naomi? They used you. They hurt you intentionally. You don't owe them anything, especially not kindness they haven't earned." Naomi took a shaky breath. "You're right. I know you're right. It just feels harsh. That's because you're a good person with a kind heart. But kindness doesn't mean letting people walk all over you." Over dinner, Old Man Albert told her about similar experiences he'd had. Former acquaintances who suddenly wanted to be friends when his reputation at the estate grew. Distant relatives appearing with schemes. People who saw status instead of a human being. "It taught me to value the people who knew me before all this," he explained, gesturing vaguely at his home. "My parents, my brothers, a few close friends from my serving days. They're the ones who matter. How do you know who's real and who's not? Time. Real relationships are built slowly. They serve hard times, not just good ones. What you and I have, what you have with Lily, that's real. Because it started from genuine connection, not from what either of us could gain." After dinner, they moved to the living room. Old Man Albert had built a fire in the fireplace, and they sat close together on the couch. Naomi transferred from her wheelchair. "Can I tell you something? Naomi said quietly. Anything? I'm falling in love with you. She felt Old Man Albert's arms tighten around her. I'm already there, he said softly. I've been in love with you for weeks. I was just waiting for the right time to say it. Naomi turned to look at him, seeing the truth in his eyes. Really, really? I love you, Naomi. I love your strength, your kindness, the way you make Lily laugh, the way you challenge me to be better. I love everything about you. I love you too, Naomi whispered. And when Old Man Albert kissed her, it felt like coming home. Later, as Old Man Albert drove her back to her apartment, Naomi felt lighter than she had in years. She'd cut toxic people from her life. She'd stood up for herself, and she'd found real love with someone who saw her completely. Thank you, she said as Old Man Albert helped her from the car. For what? For helping me see that I deserve better. That I deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. You've always deserved that. I just hope I can keep giving it to you. You do every single day. As Naomi got ready for bed that night, she looked at her reflection in the mirror. The same face looked back at her, but something was different. She looked happy. Genuinely, deeply happy. Her phone buzzed with a text from Old Man Albert. Lily wants to know if you'll come to her soccer game on Saturday. Fair warning, she's not very good yet, but she's enthusiastic. Naomi smiled and typed back, I wouldn't miss it for anything, and she meant it. This was her family, now her real life, and she was finally letting herself believe she deserved it. Still reading? Don't leave yet. Have you ever had to cut toxic people from your life? How did it feel? Share your story in the comments below. And if you're enjoying Naomi and Old Man Albert's journey, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what happens next. Trust me, you'll want to see how their story continues. 6 months into their relationship, Naomi found herself seamlessly woven into the fabric of Old Man Albert and Lily's life. She had her own key too. Old Man Albert's home. Her toothbrush lived in his bathroom. Half of Lily's homework was done at her dining table. And she'd become the official homework helper for art projects. You're so much better at this than Daddy. Lily had declared one afternoon while they worked on a diorama of the rainforest. Daddy can't cut straight. I heard that Old Man Albert called from his home office where he was on a conference call. Naomi's graphic design business had grown too. Word of mouth from the nonprofit work had led to more clients, and she now had a steady stream of projects. Old Man Albert had offered multiple times to help her expand to invest in her business, but Naomi wanted to build it herself. I need to know I did this on my own, she'd explained. I understand, Old Man Albert had replied. But if you ever change your mind, the offer stands. One evening in October, Old Man Albert asked Naomi to attend a charity gala with him. It was a big event attended by the city's elite, raising money for children's hospitals. I have to give a speech, Old Man Albert explained, and I'd really like you there with me. Lily will stay with my parents. Old Man Albert, I don't know. That's your professional world. What if I don't fit in? Old Man Albert cupped her face gently. You'll fit in because you'll be with me, and you're stronger and more capable than half the people who will be there. Please, Naomi, I need you there. The word "neek" convinced her. Naomi had a dress specially altered for the event, a stunning royal blue gown that complemented her skin tone perfectly. Clara came over to help with hair and makeup, creating an elegant updo that made Naomi feel like a princess. When Old Man Albert arrived to pick her up, his sharp intake of breath told her everything. You're beautiful, he said, his voice rough with emotion. The gala was held in a massive hotel ballroom, glittering with chandeliers and filled with people in expensive clothes. Old Man Albert never left her side, introducing her to estate associates and friends with clear pride. This is Naomi Peterson, my girlfriend, he said repeatedly. And each time, the title sent a small thrill. Through her, some people were clearly surprised to see Old Man Albert with someone in a wheelchair. Naomi saw the double takes, the whispered conversations. But Old Man Albert's steady presence beside her, his hand on the back of her chair, his obvious affection, silenced any potential negativity. They sat at a table with Old Man Albert's parents and two of his estate partners and their spouses. The conversation was easy and Old Man Albert's mother, Penelope, was particularly warm. "Old Man Albert is happier than I've seen him in years," Penelope said quietly while the men were engaged in a debate about society matters. "You've been good for him, for both of them." "They've been good for me too," Naomi replied honestly. When it was time for Old Man Albert's speech, he squeezed Naomi's hand before walking to the podium. She watched him command the room with easy confidence, talking about the importance of children's health care in the hospital's new wing. But then he said something that made her heart stop. "3 years ago, I lost my wife to cancer. The doctors and nurses at Children's Memorial Hospital gave us hope during the darkest time of our lives. They gave my daughter Lily every extra moment with her mother that was possible. I'll never forget that kindness." He paused, his eyes finding Naomi in the crowd. "Recently, I've learned that life offers second chances, that it's possible to love again, to build a new future while honoring the past. The woman I love taught me that strength comes in many forms, and that true courage is continuing to hope even when life has hurt you." The speech continued, but Naomi barely heard it over the pounding of her heart. When Old Man Albert returned to the table, the applause still echoing, he leaned down and kissed her forehead. "Thank you for being here," he whispered. Later, they danced. Or rather, Old Man Albert danced with her, spinning her wheelchair in elegant turns that made her laugh, uncaring what anyone thought. Other couples joined them, and soon half the ballroom was dancing in unconventional but joyful ways. Driving home that night, Naomi felt overwhelmed with emotion. That speech she started was from the heart, Old Man Albert finished. Every word was true. "You've changed my life, Naomi. You've shown me that I can be happy again without betraying Lily's mother's Maury. That I can love again." "I love you so much," Naomi said, tears pricking her eyes. "I love you too, and I'm going to keep saying it every day, for as long as you'll let me." The next morning, Lily greeted them at breakfast with a serious expression. "Grandma says you and Daddy look like a princess and prince at the party last night." "Your grandma's very kind," Naomi replied. "Are you going to marry Daddy?" Old Man Albert choked on his coffee. "Lily, that's a question for private conversation, but I want to know. Rachel's mom got married last year, and Rachel got to be a flower girl. I've always wanted to be a flower girl." Naomi caught Old Man Albert's eye across the table. They hadn't discussed marriage yet, though it had started to feel like an inevitable direction. "Lily, when adults decide to get married, it's something they talk about together first," Naomi explained gently. "But I can tell you that I love being part of your family." "Good. Because I told Rachel you were basically my mom now." The casual statement hit Naomi like a truck. "Lily, I know you're not my real mom," Lily continued matter-of-factly. "My real mom is in heaven, but you're my MO. That's what I call you in my head." Old Man Albert stood up and scooped Lily into a hug. Over her head, he mouthed to Naomi, "Is this okay?" Naomi nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Come here, Lily." Lily wiggled out of Old Man Albert's arms and climbed into Naomi's lap. "Did it make you sad?" "No, sweetheart. You made me happy. So happy. I'm honored that you think of me that way." "Good. Can we have pancakes now?" The emotional moment dissolved into giggles and pancake making. But the weight of Lily's words stayed with Naomi all day. That evening, after Lily was in bed, Old Man Albert and Naomi sat in his study, talking quietly. "I didn't know she felt that way," Old Man Albert admitted. "I should have had a conversation with her about boundaries, about not pressuring you," Old Man Albert topped. "She didn't pressure me. She shared her feelings honestly. That's healthy. But the idea of you being her mother, that's a big responsibility. I don't want you to feel obligated." Naomi turned her wheelchair to face him directly. "I don't feel obligated. I feel grateful. Old Man Albert, I love that little girl. I love her curiosity, her kindness, her wild imagination. Being part of her life isn't a burden. It's a gift. Even knowing that she comes with all the complications of me. My past, my demanding duties, my inability to cook anything more complex than grilled chicken." Naomi laughed, especially knowing all of that. "You're a package deal, and I love the whole package." Old Man Albert knelt beside her wheelchair. "I'm going to ask you something important soon. I just want you to know that. I'm not asking now because I want to do it right. Plan it properly. But it's coming, Naomi. If you need time to think about whether that's something you want, I understand. Naomi's heart raced. I didn't need time. Whatever you want to ask, whenever you ask it, my answer will be yes. You can't know that without hearing the question. I can because I know my heart, and I know I want to spend my life with you and Lily. So yes, Old Man Albert to whatever comes next. Yes. Old Man Albert pulled her close, and they stayed that way for a long time, holding each other and dreaming about the future that was slowly becoming their present. 2 weeks later, Old Man Albert came home from work with unusual energy. Naomi was helping Lily with a book report when he walked in, kissed them both on the forehead, and asked if they could talk after dinner. Throughout the meal, Naomi noticed Old Man Albert seemed distracted, excited even. Lily chattered about her day, oblivious to the undercurrent of anticipation. When Lily finally went upstairs to play, Old Man Albert took Naomi's hand. I need to show you something, he said, pulling out his tablet. I've been researching something for a while now, and I want to run it by you. On the screen was information about a new medical treatment program at Johns Hopkins. Specifically, a program for spinal cord injury patients involving new surgical techniques combined with intensive physical therapy. Old Man Albert Naomi started her stomach tightening. Just listen, please. I know you've been told your injury is permanent, and maybe it is. But this program has had success with injuries similar to yours. Some patients have regained sensation, even limited mobility. It's not a guarantee, but it's hope. Naomi stared at the screen, reading through the information. The program was expensive, over $200,000 for the full treatment course. Even with her insurance, it would be financially devastating. I can't afford this, she said quietly. I know. That's why I want to pay for it. Naomi looked up sharply. Old Man Albert? No, that's too much. It's not too much. Naomi, I love you. I want to give you every opportunity possible. If there's even a chance that this could help you, I want you to have it. But if it doesn't work, that's money wasted. It's not wasted if we tried. And it's not about the money. I have more than enough. What I don't have is the ability to go back in time and prevent your accident. But I can do this. Please let me do this. Naomi felt tears building. Her first instinct was to refuse to maintain her independence. But she remembered their earlier conversations about accepting help, about trust, and she thought about what it would mean to possibly walk again. Toasted beside Old Man Albert instead of looking up at him? To walk Lily down the aisle someday if she got married. Are you sure? She asked, her voice trembling. I've never been more sure of anything. I've already contacted the program director. They reviewed your medical records that you signed the release for, and they think you're a good candidate. The next session starts in January. We'd need to be in Baltimore for 3 months. 10 months. Old Man Albert, your duty's Lily School. I can manage remotely. Lily can do virtual school, or we can hire a tutor. We'll make it work if you want to try this. The question is, do you want to? Naomi closed her eyes, feeling the weight of the decision. 3 years she'd lived with her disability. 3 years of adapting, accepting, building a life within her new limitations. The idea of possibly changing that was terrifying and thrilling in equal measure. What if it doesn't work and I'm disappointed? She whispered. Old Man Albert squeezed her hand. Then we deal with that disappointment together. But Naomi, what if it does work? What if you could walk again, even just a little? Isn't that worth trying? She opened her eyes and met his gaze. You'd really do this? Append your whole life for 3 months on the chance this might help me in a heartbeat? You're my future Naomi. Investing in your health, in your happiness, that's investing in our future together. The tears fell then, and Old Man Albert pulled her close. Is that a yes? He asked softly. Yes, Naomi said. Yes, I'll do it. And Old Man Albert thanked you for caring, for trying, for giving me this chance. You don't have to thank me. I love you. This is what people who love each other do. That evening, they told Lily about the plan. She was initially upset about leaving her friends, but when they explained that it was to help Naomi, She brightened. So, you might be able to walk? Lily asked, her eyes wide. Maybe. The doctors aren't sure, but they think there's a chance. Then we have to try. Daddy always says you should try your best, even if you might fail. That's right, sweetheart. Old Man Albert confirmed. Over the next few weeks, Naomi prepared for the trip. She told her client she'd be taking a 3-month hiatus, but would be available for emergencies. Clara threw her a goodbye party with all of Naomi's family, celebrating the opportunity, even though no one knew what the outcome would be. Whatever happens, I'm proud of you for trying, Naomi's mother said, hugging her tight. And I'm grateful to Old Man Albert for making this possible. The night before they left for Baltimore, Naomi couldn't sleep. Old Man Albert found her in the living room at 2 a.m. staring out the window. Having second thoughts? He asked, sitting beside her. More like third and fourth thoughts. Old Man Albert, what if this changes things between us? Right now, you love me as I am. What if I walk again and I'm different? Or what if the treatment fails and I'm depressed and difficult to be around? Then we'll handle it together. Naomi, I don't love you because, or in spite of your wheelchair. I love you, the whole person. Whether you're walking or rolling, that doesn't change. What changes is that you'll have tried, you'll have fought for yourself, and that's beautiful. I'm scared. I know, but you're also brave. And I'll be right there with you every step, literal or metaphorical. Naomi leaned into him, drawing strength from his presence. I can do this. You absolutely can. And Lily and I will be cheering you on the whole way. As they sat together in the quiet darkness, Naomi felt a shift inside herself. For 3 years, she'd focused on acceptance, on building a good life within her limitations. Now she was allowing herself to hope for more. Not because she needed to walk to be whole, but because Old Man Albert had shown her that it was okay to want more, to reach for possibilities. I love you, she said softly. I love you too. Now, Cometto bed. We have an early flight, and Lily will be bouncing off the walls with excitement by 5 a.m., Naomi laughed. You're probably right. As they made their way to the bedroom, Naomi took one last look at the city lights outside. Whatever happened in Baltimore, whatever the outcome of the treatment, she knew one thing for certain. She wasn't facing it alone. And that made all the difference. The first 2 months in Baltimore were intense. The medical program was rigorous, combining surgery, physical therapy, and experimental treatments that left Naomi exhausted but hopeful. Small improvements appeared. Increased sensation in her legs, tiny muscle twitches that hadn't been there before. The doctors were cautiously optimistic. Old Man Albert was her constant support, attending every doctor's appointment and therapy session when he could. Lily adapted surprisingly well, making friends with other children whose parents were in the program. They rented a furnished apartment near the hospital, creating a temporary home that somehow felt right. But in week 9, things started to shift. Old Man Albert received a call about a major estate matter his household was considering. He had to fly back to the city for a series of meetings, leaving Naomi and Lily for 4 days. Naomi insisted she'd be fine, that she had her therapy schedule and Lily had her tutor and new friends. We'll be okay, she assured him. This is important for your duties. You're more important, Old Man Albert said, clearly torn. And I'll still be here when you get back. Go do what you need to do. The first 2 days went smoothly, but on the third day, a woman appeared at one of Naomi's therapy sessions. Tall, elegant, perfectly put together in a cream-colored dress. She approached Naomi in the waiting area. You must be Naomi, the woman said, her voice smooth. I'm Victoria Chase. Old Man Albert and I are old friends. Something in the way she said old friends made Naomi's stomach tighten. Nice to meet you. I'm in Baltimore for a conference, and Old Man Albert mentioned you were here for treatment. I thought I'd stop by and say hello. He speaks so highly of you. They made small talk, but Victoria's presence felt calculated. She mentioned memories with Old Man Albert, estate trips they'd taken, parties they'd attended. Each anecdote seemed designed to highlight a shared history that Naomi didn't have. Old Man Albert and I dated for 2 years, Victoria said casually. Before he met his wife, we stayed friends after, of course. Some connections are too strong to completely break. The comet landed like a stone in Naomi's chest. I see. I was sorry to hear about his wife. Such a tragedy. But I'm glad he's found someone new. Victoria's smile didn't reach her eyes, though I'll admit I was surprised. Old Man Albert always seemed to prefer, well, the arrangement you have seems unique. The subtle emphasis on unique felt like a knife. Naomi forced a smile. We're happy. Of course you are. Old Man Albert's very generous. He always takes care of people. Another loaded pause. How is Lily? Such a sweet child. She used to call me Auntie Ronnie when Old Man Albert and I were together. After Victoria left, Naomi sat in the therapy room feeling sick. The doubt that had been lurking at the edges of her consciousness rushed in. Was she just another person Old Man Albert was taking care of? Another project like the charities he supported? And Victoria, sophisticated and clearly mobile, represented everything Naomi wasn't and might never be. That night, Old Man Alberta called from his hotel, excited about the estate discussions. Naomi tried to sound normal, but he noticed immediately. What's wrong? Nothing. I'm just tired. Naomi, I know you. What happened? She wanted to tell him about Victoria, but what would she say? That an ex-girlfriend stopped by and made her feel inadequate? It sounded petty and insecure. Really? I'm fine? How are the meetings going? Old Man Albert talked about the estate for a few minutes, but kept circling back to asking if she was okay. Finally, Naomi claimed exhaustion and ended the call. She felt terrible for lying, but she needed time to think. Over the next few days, the doubts multiplied. Victoria's words echoed in her mind. The treatment, while showing promise, hadn't delivered the dramatic results Naomi had secretly hoped for. She could feel more sensation, could sometimes make her toes move slightly, but walking seemed as distant as ever. What if this was as good as it got? What if Old Man Albert had spent all this money and time for nothing? Worse, what if he regretted it? What if he looked at her and saw not the woman he loved, but a burden, a responsibility, someone who couldn't keep up with his world? When Old Man Albert returned, Naomi pulled back emotionally. She went through the motions, smiled and talked, and pretended everything was fine. But she started suggesting he'd go to estate dinners without her, claiming she was too tired. She made excuses to avoid attending a fundraiser with him. Old Man Albert noticed. Of course he did. Naomi talked to me. He said one evening after Lily was asleep, "You've been distant since I got back. Did something happen while I was gone?" Nothing happened. I'm just stressed about the treatment. Is that all? Naomi couldn't meet his eyes. What else would there be? Old Man Albert was quiet for a moment. Did Victoria come to see you? Naomi's head snapped up. How did you know? She texted me afterwards saying it was nice to see me through you. I told her not to contact you again. But the damage wasn't it. What did she say? It doesn't matter. It clearly does. Naomi, Victoria is my past. A past that ended long before I ever met my wife. She's been trying to reconnect since Eleanor died, but I've never been interested. Whatever she said, it was designed to create doubt. She just made me realize something, Naomi said, her voice breaking. Old Man Albert, look at us. Look at you. Distinguished, dedicated, able to go anywhere and do anything. And look at me. I'm in a wheelchair that I might never get out of. I need help with basic things. I slow you down. You don't slow me down. Yes, I do. And maybe that's okay now. But what about in 5 years? 10 years? What if you wake up one day and realize you gave up too much for someone who can't give you everything you deserve? Old Man Albert looked like she'd slapped him. Is that really what you think? That I'm with you out of pity or charity? I don't know what to think anymore. Old Man Albert stood up and paced across the room, his hands in his hair. When he turned back, his eyes were wet. 3 months ago, you stood in my home and told me your answer would be yes to whatever I asked. Do you remember that? Naomi nodded, tears streaming down her face. I was going to propose, Naomi. I had a ring picked out. I was planning to ask you on our last day here in Baltimore to celebrate the completion of your treatment regardless of the outcome. But now, you're telling me that you don't think you're good enough for me? That you're a burden. Old Man Albert? No, let me finish. You are not a burden. You are the love of my life. You make me laugh. You challenge me. You've made Lily happier than I've seen her since her mother died. Your wheelchair is not what defines you. Your strength defines you. Your kindness defines you. The way you love us defines you. But Victoria is a manipulative person who saw an opportunity to cause problems. She doesn't matter. What matters is us. But I can't make you believe you're worthy of love, Naomi. That's something you have to believe yourself. Old Man Albert grabbed his jacket. I'm going to take a walk. I need to clear my head. When I come back, I need you to have made a decision. Either you trust that I love you truly and completely, or you don't. Either you believe in us, or you don't. But I can't keep proving myself if you're going to let every doubt and fear push you away from me. He left and Naomi sat in the silence, feeling like her world was falling apart. Lily appeared in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. Why is Daddy upset? She asked sleepily. We had a disagreement, sweetheart. Adult stuff. Lily climbed into Naomi's lap. Are you going to leave us? What? No, honey. Why would you think that? Because you seem sad lately, and when people are sad, sometimes they leave. My mommy left because she got sick. Naomi hugged Lily tight, her heart breaking. Oh, sweetheart. Your mommy didn't want to leave? She fought so hard to stay with you and your daddy. I know, but she still left. And I don't want you to live too. You're my Nama. I need you. Those simple words cut through all of Naomi's doubts and fears. This wasn't just about her and Old Man Albert. Lily was part of this equation, and she deserved stability, deserved love. Deserved to not lose another mother figure because of adult insecurities. I'm not leaving, Naomi said firmly. I promise you, Lily, I'm not going anywhere. Good, Lily yawned. Can you put me back to bed? Of course. After settling Lily back to sleep, Naomi sat in the quiet apartment and did some hard thinking. Victoria's words had found their mark because they'd tapped into fears Naomi already had. But the truth was Old Man Albert had shown her in 100 ways that he loved her completely. He'd rearranged his life, invested in her treatment, included her in every part of his world. Not because she was a project, but because he loved her. And she loved him more than fear, more than doubt, more than insecurity. She loved him and Lily, and she wanted the life they were building together. When Old Man Albert returned an hour later, Naomi was waiting. I'm sorry, she said immediately. You're right. I let fear control me, and I almost threw away the best thing in my life because of it. Old Man Albert sat down across from her, his expression guarded but hopeful. Keep talking. I love you. I love you so much. It terrifies me because I've lost so much already, and the idea of losing you and Lily is unbearable. But by pulling away to protect myself, I was hurting all of us. I was doing exactly what I feared, pushing you away. I'm not going anywhere, Old Man Albert said quietly, unless you tell me to go. Never, Old Man Albert. I want our future. I want everything we talked about. I want to marry you, be Lily's stepmom, build a life together. Walking or not walking, that doesn't change what I want. Old Man Albert closed his eyes briefly, relief washing over his features. You mean that? With everything in me? I'm done letting fear win. From now on, I'm choosing us. Old Man Albert Muvetto kneeled beside her wheelchair, taking both her hands. I was serious about proposing. I want you to be my wife, Naomi. I want us to be a family officially, but I need to know you're sure. I'm sure. I've never been more sure of anything. Then will you marry me? Will you be my wife, Lily's mother, my partner, and everything? Naomi laughed through her tears. Yes, 1,000 times. Yes. Old Man Albert pulled a box from his pocket. Inside was a beautiful ring, simple and elegant. He slid it onto her finger and it fit perfectly. I've been carrying this around for 2 weeks, he admitted, waiting for the right moment. I guess almost losing you made this the right moment. I'm sorry I doubted us. Don't apologize. We all have moments of fear. What matters is that we fight through them together." They held each other in the quiet apartment, and Naomi felt peace settle over her. This was her home, not the city they'd left. Not even this temporary apartment, but anywhere Old Man Albert and Lily were. That was home. The last month in Baltimore flew by in a haze of happiness. Naomi's treatment continued, showing modest improvements. She wouldn't walk normally, but the doctors were optimistic that she might eventually be able to stand with support for short periods. More importantly, the pain that had plagued her since the accident had significantly decreased. "Even if standing is all I get, it's worth it," Naomi told Old Man Albert one evening. "Just to be able to look Lily in the eye at her height, to stand at her wedding, that's everything." "Our wedding," Old Man Albert repeated with a smile. "I like the sound of that." They decided to have a small ceremony within 2 months of returning home. Lily was beside herself with excitement, already planning her flower girl dress down to the smallest detail. Old Man Albert's parents had flown in to celebrate the engagement. Penelope had cried happy tears while hugging Naomi. "I'm so glad Old Man Albert found you," Penelope said. "You've brought light back into their lives." The trip back home was celebratory. Lily chattered the entire flight about wedding plans, about seeing her friends again, about showing them all Naomi's engagement ring. When they arrived at Old Man Albert's home, there was a surprise waiting. The entire first floor had been renovated for accessibility. Wider doorways, modified counters in the kitchen, a beautiful roll-in shower, and a new master bathroom. Old Man Albert's study had been converted into a bedroom suite for Naomi to use when she needed ground floor access. "When did you do this?" Naomi asked, overwhelmed. "While we were gone, I wanted you to feel like this was truly your home too." "Our home?" Naomi cried, but they were happy tears. Every detail had been considered. It wasn't just accessible, it was beautiful. Old Man Albert had managed to make accommodations that felt like elegant design choices rather than medical necessities. The next few weeks were consumed with wedding planning. Naomi and Lily spent hours looking at flowers, discussing colors, and debating menu. Old Man Albert mostly stayed out of it, happy to let them plan and occasionally offering opinions when directly asked. "I just want to show up and marry you," he told Naomi. Everything else is details. But the one thing he insisted on was writing his own vows. "I need to tell you properly how I feel," he said in front of everyone who matters. As the wedding day approached, Naomi had moments of nervousness, but they were the normal kind. Excitement about the future, not fear. She'd done the hard work of believing she deserved happiness, and now she was ready to claim it. The day before the wedding, Clara and her sisters hosted a small bachelorette party at Naomi's apartment. It was low-key and perfect. Just the women who mattered most in her life, celebrating her happiness. "I'm so proud of you," her youngest sister, Tia, said. "After everything you've been through, you're getting your happy ending." "It's not an ending," Naomi corrected. "It's a beginning." The wedding day dawned clear and beautiful. The ceremony was held in a garden at a local venue that specialized in accessible events. White chairs faced an altar covered in flowers, and a smooth path had been laid for Naomi's wheelchair to roll down. In a private room, Naomi's mother helped her dress. The wedding gown was custom-made, designed to look beautiful whether Naomi was sitting or standing. It was ivory silk with delicate beading. And when Naomi saw herself in the mirror, she felt like she was glowing. "You're beautiful, baby girl," her mother said, tears in her eyes. "Your father would be so proud." Her father had passed away 2 years before the accident. But Naomi felt his presence as her mother wheeled her toward the ceremony space. Her middle sister would be walking her down the aisle, a compromise they'd all agreed on. Music started, and the guests turned. Old Man Albert stood at the altar with his brothers as groomsmen, and beside him, Lily practically vibrated with excitement in her maroon flower girl dress. But Naomi only had eyes for Old Man Albert. He looked handsome in his navy suit, but more than that, he looked happy. Tears streamed down his face as he watched her approach, and Naomi felt her own tears threatening. The ceremony was short, but meaningful. When it came time for vows, Old Man Albert took both her hands. "Naomi, 3 years ago, I thought my chance at love was over. I thought I would spend the rest of my life going through the motions, focused only on being a father. Then I saw you in Thatcher Store, and something told me I couldn't just walk away. I'm so grateful I listened to that voice." He paused, composing himself. "You've taught me that strength isn't about what you can do physically. It's about resilience, courage, and choosing hope, even when life has hurt you. You've shown Lily that family is about love, not biology. And you've shown me that it's possible to honor the past while embracing the future. I promise to love you in every way possible, to support your dreams, celebrate your victories, and stand beside you during challenges. I promise to never let you doubt that you're enough, that you're perfect exactly as you are. I promise to be your partner, your best friend, and your biggest cheerleader for as long as I live." Lily handed Naomi a tissue, and the guests laughed through their own tears. Naomi took a shaky breath and began her vows. "Old man Albert, when I met you, I was broken in ways that had nothing to do with my disability. I'd forgotten how to hope, how to trust, how to believe good things could happen to me. You reminded me. You didn't try to fix me or change me. You just loved me. You showed me that my value wasn't in what I could or couldn't do, but in who I am. You gave me a family when I'd forgotten what that felt like." She looked at Lily, who was watching rapidly. "Lily, I promise to be the best mom I can be to you. To show up for every school play, every soccer game, every important moment. To love you as my own daughter, because that's what you are, my daughter, my heart." Turning back to Old Man Albert, she continued, "I promise to match your love with my own, to be your partner in every sense, to support you, challenge you, and laugh with you. I promise to never let fear keep me from being fully present in our life together. And I promise to love you and Lily with everything I have for as long as I live." The officiant pronounced them married, and Old Man Albert leaned down to kiss her. It was soft and sweet and perfect, and the guests erupted in applause. Lily jumped up and down, clapping loudest of all. The reception was a joyful celebration. Naomi had practiced standing. With the physical therapist's help, and with Old Man Albert's support and special leg braces, she managed to stand for their first dance. It lasted only 3 minutes before she needed to sit again. But those 3 minutes were magic. "I stood at my own wedding," she whispered to Old Man Albert as he spun her wheelchair in rhythm with the music. "I really did it. You did so much more than stand. You said yes to life, to us, to everything. I'm so proud of you." Lily gave a toast that made everyone laugh and cry, talking about how happy she was to finally have a mom again. Old Man Albert's mother welcomed Naomi officially into the family. Clara embarrassed Naomi with stories from their years of friendship. As the evening wound down, Naomi sat with Old Man Albert and Lily, watching their families mingle and celebrate. Lily had fallen asleep against her shoulder, exhausted from excitement. "This is perfect," Naomi said softly. "This is just the beginning," Old Man Albert replied. "We have so much ahead of us." And they did. A honeymoon in Italy was planned for the next month. Accessible hotels already booked. Old Man Albert was teaching Naomi the basics of his household duties, offering her a position managing their charitable efforts if she wanted it. Lily was already planning sleepovers and family movie nights. They were talking about trying for a baby, something Naomi had been told was possible with her injury. The future stretched before them, full of possibilities and promise. Not perfect, because life never was, but full of love, hope, and the deep knowledge that they were exactly where they belonged. As guests started leaving, Old Man Albert wheeled Naomi to a quiet corner of the garden. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. "I love you, Mrs. Albert," Old Man Albert said, kissing her hand. "I love you too, Mr. Albert. Thank you for what? For seeing me? For loving me? For giving me back my life. You gave me mine back too. We saved each other." Lily stirred awake and looked around. "Is the party over?" "Almost, sweetheart," Naomi said. "Good. Can we go home now? I want to show you the surprise we have there." "What surprise?" Naomi asked. Old Man Albert grinned. "Your wedding present?" Lily picked it out. At home, Lily led them to the backyard, where a beautiful, accessible swing set had been installed. "Now we can all play together," Lillian announced proudly. "The whole family." the whole family. Naomi looked at Old Man Albert and Lily at the home they'd built together and felt complete. Not because standing had made her whole, but because love had. Because choosing hope had. Because saying yes to life, even when it was scary, had opened doors she'd thought were closed forever. "Race you to the swings?" Lily challenged. "You're on," Naomi said. And they moved across the lawn together. A family bound not by circumstance, but by choice. By love that had found them when they all needed it most. By the simple truth that sometimes the best things in life come from unexpected beginnings. And as Old Man Albert pushed both his girls on the swings, their laughter rising into the twilight air, Naomi knew that every moment that had led to this one had been worth it. The pain, the struggle, the doubt, all of it because it had brought her here to this perfect, imperfect life with these two people who had become her whole world. Forever was just beginning, and it was beautiful.